Hey guys, Major here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Battlefield 4 Fall Patch for 2015. It really doesn't seem that long since we've had a patch. In fact, it really isn't. It's only been 2 months. The last patch was the summer patch, which dropped on the 1st of September 2015, and it's now the 27th of October 2015, so really not that long since we had a full-blown patch. But there's a hell of a lot of things that have been changed in this patch that are worth going over. I'm not going to go over everything, I am just going to go over my top 3 new features of this new patch. Patch notes will be linked in the description in a PDF that you can have a look at if you want to, but in this video I'm just going to be looking at my top 3. So first up we have Operation Outbreak, otherwise known as the Community Operations map. This is less of a change, more of an introduction. This is a full-blown map, similarly to what we got with the Night Operations map, Graveyard Shift with Zavod, the night version of Zavod 311 in the last patch. This is a full-blown map. This is the Community Operations map that has been developed for quite a long time now. It's been in the CTE for God knows how long, and it's gone through all of the stages of since it's been just modelled and it's had no textures, then the textures were added, and it's just been built up and built up and built up over the past few months, to the point now where it's finally ready for release. Now the reason why this is one of my top 3 features is because I think really this is what Battlefield 4 needs. I think the reason why Battlefield 4 has become stale quite recently, especially for me, is because the quality of the maps that you get to play really isn't anything special. If you go back and look at Battlefield 3, I can pick out at least a couple of maps that I could just sit and play constantly for a good few hours. Damavand Peak, Operation Metro, Noshar Canals. I could play their maps for hours and not really get bored. Whereas in Battlefield 4, I really can't think of any where I could actually sit down and play for an extended period of time. Maybe Operation Locker, maybe Propaganda, but really there's not any that I could sit down and really have a good time on. And because Operation Outbreak has been in development for such a long time, and it's been closely monitored by both the devs and the community, really gives me high hopes for the quality of this map. Okay, so the second of my top 3 features is starting to see some of the team play initiative work its way into the game. The team play initiative is something that's been highly coveted ever since it was announced quite a long time ago, but it seemed to have been almost forgotten because not really much has changed. That changes now though, because there are some incredibly important changes that might seem small, but really are, I think, are going to make a massive difference to how the game plays out. The first one is that the marksman bonus has been removed. So you know when you snipe and you get a headshot from a certain distance, if that headshot is above a certain limit, I think it was 100 meters, you would get an extra point per meter that headshot was from. So if you got a 2,000 meter headshot, you would get 2,000 extra points for that headshot. If you got a 1,000 meter headshot, you would get an extra 1,000 points on top of the points for the kill, which really just gives snipers and campers the incentive to go off into the hills, try and get them headshots, because if they did hit them headshots, they would be achieving the really high scores up there with the people who were PTFOing all the time. That's now been removed, so even if you do get a really long headshot, the maximum bonus that you're going to get is 25 points for the marksman bonus. It will show the distance of the headshot in parentheses next to it, but you're not going to get massive amounts of points. So what this does is it removes the incentive to go off and camp in the mountains somewhere, and it puts that incentive there for people to stop camping and go and play the objective, because there really isn't any other benefit to going off and sniping unless it gives you the satisfaction for getting them really long distance headshots. The other changes here include the scoring rebalancing. Basically what this has done is it's changed the amount of points that you get for playing the objective, and some of these are quite drastic. So for example, in Conquest, when you cap a flag, instead of getting 150 points, you now get 400. That is a massive change. That's more than 100% extra points on top of that. If you win the Conquest game, you now get 3,000 points rather than 1,500 points. So that is a 100% increase over the previous score. Moving on, we have Obliteration, in which case, if you pick up the bomb, you get 150 rather than 100. Possessing the bomb increases from 10 to 25, and winning the game of Obliteration increases to 2,000 from 1,500. Rush, if you disarm an MCOM, you now get 500 points rather than 400. And destroying the MCOM is now 500 points rather than 400, and that score is now team-wide. So once one person destroys the objective, the entire team gets the 500 points. And winning the game of Rush, you get 3,000 points rather than 1,500 points. So what this does is basically just incentivizes people to go and play the objective, because if you play the objective, you're going to get way more points, going to rank up faster, and hopefully that's what people want in the game. They want to rank up faster, earn more points, earn better weapons, attachments. Hopefully this is going to make the game a lot better, incentivize people to go and play the objective. And my final favourite improvement in this patch has got to be the changes to the UI. Now the UI in Battlefield has always been kind of cluttered, and it's been improved upon in previous patches that's allowed us to change the transparency and the sizes of pretty much everything in the game. Everything from the minimap to hit markers to other HUD elements such as the little tags above enemies that has their names and information and health and stuff like that. But now we have some really important changes to the minimap. Surprisingly, when Battlefield Hardline came out, the minimap was really good. It had a lot more improvements and features in the minimap than what Battlefield 4 does, and now some of them features have now moved over to Battlefield 4. For example, the capture area for each conquest flag has now been added to the minimap, so you now see a little outline of where the capture area is on the minimap, so you know when you're moving in and out of the capture area. This is less sort of game improving and just really helpful. On top of that, you are now able to see whether enemy players are above you or below you. And now it does this with, if enemies above you now appear as a bigger triangle on the minimap, players that are below you now appear smaller on the minimap. So it might seem like a small thing, but when you get in there and really play the game, it makes a massive difference. So that's my top 3 features of the Battlefield 4 Fall patch. Let me know yours in the comments down below. As I said, the full patch notes are listed in the description, so you can have a look at them if you want to. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I've been MajorMeteor, and I'll catch you in the next one.